Fashion designer from the city of Montreal facing criticism today after promoting a photo shoot, not just any photo shoot, but one that was held, in part anyway, at the National Holocaust Memorial in the capital. The monument, of course, meant to honor the victims of the Nazis. This was the post on Instagram. The designer has since deleted the photo, but there the model is standing in front of the monument, the Holocaust monument. As you can certainly understand, members of Canada's Jewish community have spoken out strongly. That includes Shimon Fogel, who is the CEO of the Centre for Israel and Jewish Affairs, coming to us today from Ottawa. Mr. Fogel, always good to have you with us on CTV. What was your reaction when you saw this photo?
Well, I think, Todd, that we were all surprised and somewhat disturbed. I wouldn't want to exaggerate the level of anger. I think that there was some recognition that there was a lack of awareness about the juxtaposition of something as lighthearted as a photo shoot for a fashion magazine and the subject matter of the backdrop of that photo shoot. But still, it reminds us of, I think, three important takeaways. One is we all have to have some more enhanced situational awareness, what we do, the context in which we do it, and the location in which that takes place. And there's no question that this kind of activity, the photo shoot, was inappropriate for that particular locale. But the second is that we shouldn't exaggerate situations like this. There certainly was no ill intent or a desire to be disrespectful to the memory of the 6 million Jews who perished in the Holocaust. It was simply something that they weren't aware of and didn't factor into the consideration. But the third is that it's a teaching opportunity. And anytime something like the Holocaust is involved in a story, it offers us an opportunity to sensitize people to not only that event, but the lessons of the Holocaust and how it should inform our thinking and our conduct even today.
We did reach out to the fashion designer. We have not heard back yet, but the photographer told the Ottawa Citizen newspaper that they don't wish to talk about it and they have decided to discontinue the project. There's something else, too, and you raised a great point about the notion of awareness, Mr. Fogel. I mean, I have been to the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe in Berlin, and I have seen all sorts of very objectionable photos on places like Instagram, people posing selfies up on those blocks. They seem to think it's funny or a joke. Again, they don't understand the significance of that memorial as well. When you talk about this being a teachable moment, that's another great example. People just are unaware.
So I think that it's important for us not just to have monuments and museums, but to see them as vehicles for educating and instructing, sensitizing people to what the context of those memorials are. It's all fine to have a memorial. It's appropriate. It's meaningful not just to the families of the victims, but to what Canada wants to see itself as valuing and giving attention to. But if we just leave it at that, without taking the next step and using it as a platform to educate people about the events, about the lessons that should be derived from them, then I think that we're failing ourselves as a society. So I don't fault young people for taking selfies in a place like the Berlin Museum that you visited because they're simply not sensitive or aware of it. I do think, though, that any time somebody goes to a place like that or visits the National Holocaust Monument here in Ottawa, we have an obligation collectively to use it as an opportunity to educate, to sensitize, and to inspire them to act in ways differently than people did a couple of generations ago.
Shimon Fogel with the Centre for Israel and Jewish Affairs joining us from our studios in Ottawa today. Mr. Fogel, thank you for your time.
It's always a pleasure.